Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Ratliff Mandolins Weekly Production Diary. It is the very first episode of this new year, 2022, and I thought I would take just a few moments here to answer some of the questions that I have fielded across the course of this past year. Number one is, who are you? Well, my name is Audie Ratliff. I'm the owner of Ratliff Mandolins. I've been in the music industry most of my adult life. I started off playing guitar in my early teens and played in professional bands and amateur bands. One of my first jobs was teaching guitar lessons at a music store, and I went on to building mandolins, and that's what I do for a living now. So that answers that question. And the next question that I fend off on a fairly regular basis is, where are you located? I am located in Upper East Tennessee. Knoxville is about 90 miles in that direction right there. Virginia is about 15 minutes in that direction, and North Carolina is about 30 or 45 minutes in that direction. So we're kind of tucked up in that upper corner in a little town called Churchill, a very sleepy little village that I very much love and like to be here. The building that houses Ratliff Mandolins, in bad need of a fresh coat of paint, as you can see, was built in 1957 and stands on the corner of West Main and Old Union here in town. When it was first built, it was a full-service gas station, and after the owners removed the gas pumps in the mid-60s, they just let it be a auto repair place. It's been several different things. I'm told it was a machine shop at one point that kind of specialized in auto engine rebuilding, and just before I bought it, it was a paint and body shop. I bought it in the mid-90s. It's a 2,700 square foot facility, block, lots of windows in it and plenty of natural sunlight. The main room in there, which is the ones right behind the garage doors that you can see on that end of the building, is the carcass room, sort of that's a place where I do all the heavy construction, the side bending, and all the big saws and stuff are in there. This front room right here is the room that you see in the videos a lot that has the almost finished mandolins hanging on the wall. Right behind it on this side of the building is that little cubbyhole office place where I store all the cases now, and right behind that is the bench where I put the strings on, polish them out and everything, and you've seen that in many videos as well. And behind that is a bigger room that's more of a storage room. That's where the air compressor sits, and freezers back there, and mostly just the junk room. So it's been a really good building, and I like being here. Probably be right here all the way through to the end. When do you work, and how long have you been doing what you're doing? Well, I work here 5 days a week at least, and sometimes 6 and 7. I'm here usually between 9 to 5, but that doesn't mean that I'm not here at 6:30 in the morning sometimes and 10 o'clock at night on other times as well. How long have I been doing it? I built my first mandolin in 1981, I think, so that makes basically 40 or 41 years. In fact, I'll share this little story with you. Many of you guys that are watching this probably have heard of this book right here, Constructing a Bluegrass Mandolin by Roger Seminoff. Nowadays, most of you, if you can find a copy, it'll be in this format right here, little spiral kind of thing. This is his Constructing a Banjo book. But for the very first run, they come in 3-ring binders like this, and you can see that I have a much worn out, much loved, many times read copy of that. When it first came, I read it about 3 times straight through, cover to cover, and turned right around and started back at the beginning again. After about the 3rd time, I thought, I might could do that. And so it's been with me the whole time. A trusted companion. That's how long I've been doing it. Why do I do it? Well, I don't know. I've been accused of all kinds of things, including being southern and stubborn and bullheaded, but I prefer to think of all that as determined and strong-willed. And I do it because I like to do it. I've enjoyed my job for the last 40 years, and so that's what I do. I build mandolins. How much are the mandolins is a question that I get quite often, and so let me preface that with sort of a description of what I sell. I sell A's and F's. As an example, this is an F. It's got the fancy little points and the scroll and all like that. And the A's are a simpler construction, just a simple teardrop shaped with a straight cut peg head. I build each of these in 2 separate configurations, basically a fancy and a plain. The fancy is what I call a master model. It'll come with 3-ply binding all the way around it, here, all over. It'll have a gloss finish, ebony parts, and shell inlay, mother of pearl or abalone, fancy pearl pattern up here. And that will be the master model. The appointments for the country boy are a single piece of binding around the top, no inlay appointments at all. I will put the logo across the peg head, and a satin finish instead of a gloss. So we have master models and country boys. Now an F-style master model is $5,250, $5,250. Comes with a hard shell case. They all come with a hard shell case. And the country boy F model is $3,250. The master model A style is $4,250, and the country boy A style is $2,750. And like I said, every one of them comes with the case, and that price does not include the shipping or the insurance. So let's take a moment now to discuss this particular video series, the Ratliff Mandolins weekly production diary series, and how long I've been doing it and why. This is episode 73 or 74, I think. So basically we put up 1 video a week. That works out to be just a shade shy of a 1.5 years now. And the why I do that is basically to stay in touch with my customers. I always try to answer my phone call and return calls and try to stay in touch with the people that have expressed an interest in my mandolins. And I thought, how can I kind of do that in a blanket way, just where I can cover everything? And of course the obvious answer was a YouTube video series, and that's what I do. So now as I build mandolins in batches, and I will tell you, okay, in the current batch you're mandolin number 3. Anytime you see me work on mandolin number 3, that's the one you're going to get. And so it's proved pretty successful, I think. Everybody gets to watch their mandolin being built. They get to follow the progress. They know exactly how far along we are and how far along we're not. And so that's why I do this video series, mainly to stay in touch with my customers. And speaking of staying in touch with the customers and discussing what happens around here each and every week, let me show you what happened this week here at Ratliff Mandolins. One of the big things I got done this week was the sunburst and the first 3 build coats on our guitar-shaped Mandocello, the K5. As you can see, we have a beautiful sunburst to put on it, and boy didn't that light up that curly maple. It's just gorgeous wood, and so I'm really anxious to see that one all the way through to its completion. Also this week I sold my father's spruce top dobro to a young fella, and my brother brought down this mahogany 1934 or 1936 sunburst. I don't remember the style number, but for you dobro guys out there, you'd remember it. If you know anybody that's interested in a good old dobro, let me know. I'll be happy to talk to him about this one right here. Just keeps on ringing. Also, this is of course the New Year's week, and Friday night is going to be New Year's Eve, and we usually have a big family get together, and this year we're going to have it in the main room in my shop. So I really need to spend some time going in there, shoving all the tools off to the side of the walls and cleaning and sweeping and doing all that sort of thing, which is what I'll probably do right now. Well, that's nowhere near done, but it at least gives me a head start. Okay, one last diary entry before we close this video out. My better half, Bonnie Jean, has been pretty sick this week with a upper respiratory system infection, and it finally kind of culminated in me having to take her to the emergency room yesterday morning, which was Thursday. And bless her heart, we were up at 4:30 on our way to the emergency room, and after 13 trying hours in the emergency room, we finally got her back home and all medicined up, and she's doing much better. Although she may not be participating in the family get-together this evening, we're still planning on having it. So I still have to finish cleaning up in there. I've got a pretty full day trying to arrange food and doing all the stuff that she is so good at and I'm not. So I'm going to close this video off now. And so I certainly hope that you will join us next week for the next episode of the Ratliff Mandolins, a weekly production diary.
The mood is great. 20 mile an hour, probably easy. Hill. Fast.
She ran over a snake and that snake jumped up out.
That's all right. That camera don't know about that. That's the only time it is.
All right, you're on
camera. 1, 2, 3.
Happy New Year!